boomer, millennial. These terms are being thrown around left and right these days to try to find who's responsible for the problems in the world. And I'm here to tell you in this breakdown that the true culprits are the Gen Xers. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Theodore Joseph Williams, and I'm here to explain why Gen X is the cause for all of the problems that we see around us today. While you guys were too busy doing lines of blow and fighting the power after your therapy sessions with Dr. Susan, you were neglecting your civic duty and your responsibility to the world and the generations that follow you. We look at our political system these days, and we see it's full of a bunch of old farts who don't even know how to operate a cell phone. We ask ourselves, why is that? Is it the boomers' corporate greed? Is it the lazy millennials? No, not at all. It's the fact that Gen X didn't step up and do what was required of them. You guys were supposed to oust the boomers. You guys are supposed to be the ones calling the shots today, but you're not. You let them have it because you were too busy lining your pockets and having a good time. You guys were privileged to be around during the onset of some of the most exciting technology humanity has ever seen. And what did you do with it? You made reality TV. You created a system where every little person gets to feel like they might be special because you wanted to feel special. You created the snowflake culture that exists today. You went and you had your little talks about your feelings and how sad and depressed you were. And then, oh, I need a Xanax because I'm anxious. Feed me, feed me, feed me. Popping Vicodins like Skittles. And then you look at the pharmaceutical companies and you wonder why they're doing what they're doing. You allowed them to. You enabled it. Matter of fact, you encouraged it. We didn't do that. Millennials didn't do that. I didn't have a say in it. I was a child and I was told ADD, depression. You started throwing these labels on me before I had a chance to decide for myself. And then you started pumping me full of chemicals. Boomers don't think that's cool. Boomers do one thing. They put their nose down and they work hard. That's a boomer for you. But you know what a Gen Xer does? A Gen Xer points fingers in every direction other than at themselves. They want to blame everyone else. That's why we hear it so much. Okay, boomer, lazy millennial. Those aren't coming from us. Those are coming from the Gen Xers who can't take responsibility for their role in the issues that exist today. And it's absurd. You know, we look at issues like global warming. I remember when I was a little tot running around, apartment in New York City, hearing about the holes in the ozone layer. And what did you do to stop it? You went out and you bought H2 Hummers because you had to have the biggest car on the road. You started making everything out of plastic because we can't have things that last too long, otherwise we can't make money, we can't reach our bottom line. You started pumping the world full of chemicals and destroying our ecosystem. Your desire to have a fast food chain, a Starbucks on every corner, forced us into this position where we have factory farming. It's absurd. In the 2000s, as you guys are riding around in your H2 Hummers with your bedazzled jeans and your 37 water bottles in the back seat, listening to who's on the Survivor finale. As this is going on, you guys thinking everything is cool and everything is a good time, then your bubble burst, literally and figuratively. You started to live in fear because we got attacked by some terrorists. You fed that fear to your kids. You shoved it down their throats. You're responsible for the fear mongering in the world today. If you look, the reports are in. If you look, who's talking the most about the coronavirus right now? It's the Gen Xers, because that's what you guys do. You exaggerate and you spread fear. When your bubble burst, because of the housing market, because your individual greed demanded that you feed out these loans to people who can't follow up on them. That wasn't boomers doing, that was your doing. When you decided to live your life exclusively on a credit card, that wasn't the boomers doing, that was your doing. And then you stuck us with it. Here I am, graduating high school, thinking I got a great future ahead of me, and all of a sudden the whole fucking world collapses. Can't blame the boomers for that. you gotta blame the Gen Xers, because you didn't step up to the plate and do what was required. You weren't willing to sacrifice, because God forbid you have a little bit less of a good time. The self-fulfillment of Gen Xers is just disgusting. It's all about the individual for you. And that's really the big problem. You just want to be individuals. Okay, boomer, lazy millennial, I'm sick of these terms. It's time we really look at the culprit. It's time we point the finger in the right direction. Gen X, you dropped the ball. You left us holding a shit stack. And what are we supposed to do about it? We're gonna clean up your mess. You know why? Because that's what millennials do. We clean up after you. You leave us a bunch of ruins, and we build a civilization. So once again, my name's Theodore Joseph Williams. This has been The Breakdown, and now you know who's at fault. So go find the closest Gen Xer and punch him right in the gut for me. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.